So Bhagwan says, he who has given up all desires, what will he be doing? You also might want to know. After being Sthita Prajna, what you have to do? What will you be doing? So he will be moving freely. How? Freely without attachment, without egoism, and without thirst for enjoyment. So there are three ways in which the Sthita Prajna works in Sansar. Nispruha, Nirmama, Nirahankara. Nispruha, without rag, dvesh, desirelessness. In a state of desirelessness. Nispruha. Nirmama, no attachment to possessions, no mindness. Mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. I must have this, I must have this. This is my book, my house, my clothes, my bed, my food, my everything. Mindness. And nirahankar, no I-ness. Without I. I meaning body, mind, intellect. Now, as I said, this is chapter 2 is like a summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Upanishads. Therefore, these few verses is the sar, it's the tattva, it's the essence of all Vedant education, knowledge. So here is the way to attain the state of Sthita Prajna. This, how to be Nispruha, Nirmama, Nirahankara. I am going to give you, I think, 5 points. If I am not mistaken. Yes. The first thing, most important, the first thing is understand who am I. Understand. I'm not telling you to realize. Understand theoretically. Most of us are deluded into thinking that I am this body, I am this mind, I am the intellect. We call it BMI. But I am not just this BMI. My real identity is Atma. I am Atma. And Atma is just an ansh of Paramatma. Paramatma is Param Atma. And I am Atma. One ray of the sun is not different from the sun itself. So Atma is like one ray of the sun, not different from the real sun. Atma, not different from Paramatma. Now Atma, who I am, does not need anything from material world. Right or wrong? It neither needs anything from the material world to exist, or to get preserved, or to get destroyed, or to get transformed. These are the three functions of BMI: existence, preservation, transformation. We don't say destroy because energy is never destroyed. So since I am Atma, since I am not BMI, neither do I need anything from the material world, and therefore nothing in the material world is mine. Right or wrong? Nothing in this material world is mine. Yet, we are all the time concerned with preserving mine. My house, my body, my clothes, my mother, my father, my children. This is where you are stuck. This is where you are stuck. So, a person living with Atmanishtha, Nishtha meaning firm belief, conviction. I am Atma. I am not body, mind, intellect. Such a person can be Sthita Pragnya. So what's the first thing you have to have? Atma Nishtha. Since Atma doesn't need anything with the material world, since Atma doesn't depend on the material world, there is no point in hankering after material objects. Have enough for your existence, have enough for your needs, have enough for your family's needs, but to go on wanting more and more and more and more is like this bucket which you put in the well without a bottom. Now, what about the things I need also? How will I get them? So, the second point is do your Purusharth. Do your Purusharth. What is Purusharth? Your Dharma. Whatever you are supposed to do according to your Varna and Ashram. But how should I do my Purusharth? Karma Yog Bhav. Now, what about the things I need? Will I get them? If it is in your Prarabdha and you do Purusharth, you will get it. If it is in your Prarabdha and you do Purusharth, you will get it. As I have said earlier, as a newborn baby who cannot walk, cannot talk, cannot go anywhere, food is provided in the form of mother's milk. The child doesn't have teeth also to eat, yet mother's milk has been provided. All your needs have been provided for you before you were born. They are here. So, you do not have to get stressed out. Your needs will be met. Greeds, there is no end to it. Okay? Now you do your Purusharth. What if you do not get the result as you like it in the time frame that you expect it? Are you doing Karma Yoga? Then you are not doing your Purusharth in Karma Yoga Bhav. So can anyone list out Karma Yoga Bhav ka points? Point number 1. No doership. I am not the doer. No enjoyership. Meaning, whatever is the result of that action, I accept. 3. Do whatever you are doing 100%. 4. Don't think, if I do, I'll get karma. Better not to do anything only. No, not doing anything also is a doing. So you will get a result for that also. Don't shirk your action. And 5, do only swadharma. Do what is in your dharma. Don't do anybody else's dharma. How much Purusharth should I do? Up till when should I do?
All the time.
I want something. I want to do Purusharth for that, suppose. How long should I do? Or forget want. I have some major issue with somebody and I want that to go away. That's my desire, let's say. So what should I do? Why is it still there in my life? It's my prarabdha. How long should I do Purusharth to get rid of that prarabdha? You all forgot that example I gave you all? Suppose there is a wall and there are nails hammered into that wall and I want to remove that nail from the wall, right? How many times shall I have to pull it to get it out?
Depends on how deep it is.
Depends on how deeply I have hammered that nail into the wall. How many times have I hammered? How deeply? With how much strength? How much effort I put in to create that karma? That much effort or more I will need to use to pull it out. So if I am doing, let's say, 5 units of Purusharth to remove my karma and it is still not coming out, that means I may have used 10 units of effort to push it in. So how long should I do my Purusharth? Till it comes out. Till it comes out. Therefore, don't give up. Keep doing. Keep doing. Till it's over. And what is the benefit of doing Purusharth with Karma Yog Bhav?
Don't incur more karma.
You will not incur new karma. And what about the old karma?
Existing vasanas will get exhausted.
All the mal, all the impurities which I have collected over so many lifetimes, we are purifying and getting rid of it. That is the use of Karma Yoga. So first is have Atmanishtha. Second thing is do Purusharth with Karma Yoga Bhav. The third thing, if I want to be established in Sthita Prajna, is live life with glad acceptance. There is no point in crying over your dukhi situation in life. There is no point in saying, poor me, what can I do? I have got such a spouse only. I have got such a father, such a mother, such a child, such a boss, such a brother, such a dunya bhar ka. You will go on finding bad people to blame for your dukhi situation. So who really is responsible for your dukhi situation? Me only. It is my past actions, karma, which I am being served today. It's my own masala dosa which I have ordered in a previous lifetime and it's being served to me today. I only have to pay for it and I only have to eat it no matter what. How can I make my life easier in such a difficult situation? Glad acceptance. But glad acceptance itself is not easy. So what will make glad acceptance easy?
Understanding.
Understanding that it is my own thing. But even that is very difficult to accept. Take Sharan of Guru. Surrender. If you surrender, you do not have to rely on your own strength. The Guru's strength starts flowing to and through you. The Guru can bear the weight of your prarabdha. Instead of that, we do something else. What do we do? Blame, complain,
Self-pity.
pity.
Also get egoistic about it. I can do it.
Yes, I can do it. Bring it on. I can handle every situation. Universe says, take some more. Yeah, it's true. It's my case. I'm telling you that also. Okay, one more thing. I want to clear it right now. When you are in a difficult situation, the only way out of it is glad acceptance and walking through it. Do not rely on someone saying, and this, I know some people have that belief, but I'm telling you, the better way out is to deal with it with glad acceptance and walking through it, rather than going into mumbo jumbo of Kundalini, of Kundli, of gemology, of Jyotish, of astrology, astronomy, vastu, this, that, vagare, vagare, vagare. These are all balms. They are just balms. You're putting on, and you know why tiger balm works so well? Do you know?
Yes.
It's a counter.
Because it actually burns.
It has a spice in it. It has a spice in it, a kind of a irritant actually, which makes it so hot on your skin that you forget the pain. You're concentrating now on the burn.
It actually just diverts your mind.
It diverts. So this is what is happening, and then you do all these things, and the dukh is still there, the problems are still there, the sandpaper is still there, the financial crisis is still there, you are still stuck in the problem. So I say, embrace the problem. Embrace the problem. Know this is what I have created, and my only way out is myself accepting it and walking through. Okay? Glad acceptance of all situations will make you sthita prajna. Don't give up. Fourth point. Because I told you to do purusharth. But when purusharth is not giving you the result, the nail is still not coming out. 5 times I pulled it, it's still not coming out, then you give up. No, try 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. Keep doing till it comes out. Don't give up. However difficult, however unpleasant. And instead of doing it grudgingly, how should you not give up? You cannot give up by remembering that this problem, this situation in my life is not there as a punishment. Your karma is not a punishment. Your prarabdha which you have got is your portal to freedom. It's your doorway to liberation. If you overcome it, you are free. If you resist it, if you go into poor me, you are still stuck there, the door will not open. By glad acceptance, walk through it. Be in the attitude of gratitude for the problem. Change your perception of situation from punishment to blessing. Each situation is there to make you better, stronger, nobler, cleaner, purer. This is the situation. We cannot divorce ourselves from the situation. Divorce is not an option. And finally, to establish yourself in Sthita Prajna state, you have a choice between living your life as a giver or a taker. A taker is one who sees every situation as what can I get from it? What is my benefit from here? And I'm saying every situation. Even coming to Siva, like we have so many different activities, but you'll come for the activity where you can get something. Yes or no?
Yes.
You don't come for an activity where you can give something. You come for an activity where you can take something. See how subtle this works, how subtly this works. If you are always thinking of taking, then your mind is always restless. Because you're always thinking of what can I get. And getting and taking is not so easy because it's dependent on the other person giving. If that person doesn't give, how will I take?
The form that you expect.
In the way I want it, in the form I want it, in the amount I want it. How subtly our minds work. And since I'm dependent on the other person giving or agreeing to give, I'm always insecure. And since I want so much to take, and I want the other person to be happy to give, then I have to be a person who is pleasing to that person. So I have to make myself pleasant even though I don't feel pleasant towards that person. Yes or no? How convoluted and how manipulative our mind is. So because my mind is always thinking of taking, pleasing the other person so I get, restless in how I get, how much I get, what I get, in what form I get. Can you imagine it's going on in my mind? Are you sthita?
Far.
You are restless. You are insecure. You are anxious. You are always thinking of ways to get. Therefore, a taker can never be sthita prajna.
Can I ask something?